The Tommy Boyds girls will teach you nothing. Familia ola nothing.
Always reads the label.
Nothing but iniquity and wickedness.
Goodness, and I'll say here some. Sorry, it wasn't that I thought you liked the music. It was that I was sorting of two things. Because we've had a change of plan. Evelyn called the angry hour at 10 to 4. She wanted to talk about the fact that a woman motorist had expectorated, that's the medical term for it, spat in the face of her passenger, and how upsetting she found that. And it seemed to me that it was a huge topic and a very important one, and it certainly has some bearing on contemporary culture, simply because nowadays almost all our sporting heroes spit. It isn't used to spit in any sport except football, but now rugby players and cricketers, I think Ian both of them started it, tennis players, McEnroe, I think used to spit, and now they sometimes wash their mouth out with soft drink, which they're paid to do, tennis players, and then they spit it all down onto the floor, even if it's an indoor game in front of them. And Tiger Woods, the golfer, am I right? I think I have seen Tiger Woods hit a golf ball 400 yards and then... And it seems to me to be some kind of badge of masculinity or statement of intent or something. Pre-call 0500 10 53 89. But which is my point, this is my concern. I'm not prepared to be worried about it yet. Leonardo and Kate in the Titanic have a whole scene. These two lovely romantic young people who are hoping to spend a wonderful rest of their lives together somehow seal their radical gypsy-like love by having a spitting contest over the side of the Titanic. And Leonardo ends up with some of it down his cheek. Now, you see, you put a set of ideas like that in front of the nation, and those of us who know what we're about will simply see it as a piece of fiction. Those of us who are still halfway up their learning curve will take it as an instruction. And I have seen it going on a bit more than I did just 6 short weeks ago. Am I imagining this? Pre-call 0500 10 53 89. It's a mighty argument. It's a big argument. Let's have it here first. Before I continue, Graham's call from Hales Owen. Graham, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello, Tommy.
Graham.
Yes, I think there is a time that later spitting, in the old Western films, spittoons at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I know that before, when I go to the pub and I have a pint of the Guinness and a cigar, you head off to the urinal, and that's the ideal place to spit.
Okay.
During my time playing football, I found that there is a spitting etiquette, and there's an art to it. And I always used to find that my spittle was a little bit, stringy, and the art is the art to spit it out and make it in one piece.
The art is to make a pellet of it.
That's right, yes, that was the word.
I think we should discuss this because I don't think anybody who's ever watched modern football on the television can fail to notice that the number of occasions on which footballers do it. So it's bang there in our living room if we watch our football. It's in our living room 300 times an afternoon. Do they spit on particular occasions on the pitch? Or any old time? It seems to me that they get picked up for close-ups after they've delivered a ball well or done a good tackle or something, and that's when they seem to like to spit.
I never spitting etiquette. I think during driving your car, you're eating in the summer, enjoying a bag of cherries from the greengrocer, spitting the stones out.
That is different, isn't it? Spitting stones out.
If you're in the countryside, not driving down New Street, obviously, but if you're in the countryside, and they might even take route, mightn't they?
Graham, thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And then in America's most cherished sport, baseball, spitting is required of the players when they're sat in the dugout, and they either chew tobacco in order to enable them to expectorate with some fluidity, or else, if they're wimps, they use sunflower seeds. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm going to profess to be absolutely neutral, indeed ignorant. It's not something I can do or understand, so please enlighten. Free call 0500 10 53 89. With a spitting controversy. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. It's back. John calls from London. It was very big. 100 years ago. You're on Talk Radio, John. Good afternoon.
Well, I'm a reformed splitter.
A recovering stitter.
I'm reformed as from yesterday.
Well, congratulations. 24 hours.
Yeah. I'm getting on in years, and I'm a long-distance runner. And I've always spat and cleared out the nasal passages on a long run.
Yes.
But yesterday I was out with two of my mates, and my friend who was in the middle, he turned his head towards my direction instead of to the right. He was to the left, and cleared out his nasal passages in my direction. And I received the whole lot of it.
He wasn't concentrating?
And yeah, he might have. Yeah, he could have gone to what the runners call a higher plane.
Did track athletes spit during the course of, let's say, 10,000 metres?
Yeah.
They do. Would they do it in the indoor?
I think they might, yeah.
But you see, somehow it seems like something that sports people can do on the turf, and do. But, you wonder about them doing it on the parquet flooring.
Well, that's right, because it could be dangerous then. You see various tennis matches where if they're indoors, then you get people come along and with sponges and clear up all the mess.
You're joking.
Well, no, they do. You've only got...
Have you seen that? I don't know.
It's on the TV, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not a job you'd want.
If I was paid enough, I'd do it.
Agreed. It's all a question of price, isn't it?
Right.
Good. So, what's your best marathon time?
2:47.
Bloody hell, you're good.
Well, I was, but I'm getting on in years now, and I couldn't do that now.
And over yesterday, you are a recovering splitter.
Well, I am, yes, because I didn't like the fact of my friend. I told him so.
Yes.
And he laughed. So I've got to really... we could have splitters anonymous, like Alcoholics Anonymous.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Thank you for your call.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Free call 0500 10 63 89. But how do you get into it? How do those footballers get into it? It becomes the most important ritual that they employ as a breed throughout the performance of their professional duties. A lot of us have professional rituals of one type or another. It's the only thing that all players seem to regularly do at certain moments in the game. What would happen if they couldn't? I mean, how do you learn to do it? And do not agree with me when you're starting out in football, you can tell a good player. You can tell a good player because he's not only because of the way he runs and the way his shorts hang, but he's spitting. The fact. It is a fact. It's a sorry fact, but it's a fact. Michael calls from Southport.
Hello, Tom.
Hi.
Hi. You said there is a time and a place for spitting. Maybe in football it's a bit harder, really, because, well, you built up, because I've been playing football myself. It's your lungs, especially Sunday league football, where you've been smoking or anything like that. But my actual point is, I'm ringing in to say about my local Tesco. And I was a bit shocked, really, to see...
Steady.
Sorry. I was a bit shocked to see...
You've got to be careful here, haven't you?
Okay, my local supermarket, then.
Yeah.
And I was shocked to see members of staff spitting behind the counter.
No.
The fresh food counter.
No, steady.
Have you seen this?
No, steady, I'm sorry, we can't have that. You made that up.
No, I'm afraid I'm not.
Oh, for goodness sake. Honestly, there's a limit to what we can believe.
I'm not saying they're spitting on the food, but they're spitting behind the counter.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Okay, then.
No, for goodness sake. Free call 0500 10 53 80. Mind you, that used to be one of the great cliches, didn't it, of somebody who's getting down to a good day's work to on their hands and then whoosh, get down to it. Danny calls from London. Danny, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi, Tommy.
Danny.
Yeah, it's really things are spitting on the football field. You say, when they do spit, it's doing a close-up and the camera zooms in on them. Everyone can see that, including these young kids who look up to these footballers like some kind of heroes. What make they make of that?
Yeah.
They can go out and do the same themselves. It's pretty bloody disgusting, quite frankly.
Yes. So on the other hand, if they've got to do it to perform at their best, and I mean... their managers wouldn't stand for it if they weren't performing, firing on all cylinders, and they seem to think it gets them up there for the game.
Oh, do they? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Did you see Titanic?
See it? No.
No. Well, when you get to see it, because I'm sure you will, because anybody will, it's one of those films, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll see the bit I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where, it is treated in a really sort of Well, it's almost celebrated.
Yeah.
Being a modern, sort of spunky thing to do.
Well, I think it's a disgusting thing to do unnecessarily.
I know.
Anyway, there you are.
Thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I was stood on a mainline railway station not that long ago when a lad who was fully 4 or 5 inches taller than me, and I did notice that he had homemade tattoos on his knuckles and he was wearing black monkey boots. You know, that's what I mean. Spat. They're hitting on the side of the face. Never found out why. Now, normally you learn as a lad to walk away, but I saw purple. Put my bag down, asked somebody to look after it, and Smitty, mild-mannered, calm, equilibrious me, I went at him, hammers and tongs. I had to pull us apart. I was probably ahead on points. It was vicious, but I saw red. Why? I don't know. If he'd thumped me, I think I just smiled and laughed it off. But not the man's spittle. That's what we're talking about. And the concern, the interest, that's focusing on the possibilities that the celebrated love scene in Titanic may have something to do with the fact that it's becoming marginally more acceptable amongst a certain generation of wannabes. It's free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Hey, girls, why not phone up Tommy now and tell him what a jud-headed, peanut-brained, weasel-faced, fourth-magnitude misfits in the 70s he is? On free call 0500 1053 89.
Hello there. Maureen calls from Norfolk. Maureen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy. I think there's something far worse than what footballers do is them blowing their nose on the pitch in front of everyone.
Well, but if they got a cold,
No, come on,
What do you mean?
Tommy.
if they got a cold,
You're
well,
sitting there watching the telly, you're having a sandwich or something.
Yeah.
A chap just comes on the pitch, he's not been running around for more than 5 minutes, spit, and then 2 fingers on his nose and blow.
yeah.
I think it's disgusting.
Oh, so you like the Navega handkerchiefs out there?
No, I don't think there's any need. I mean,
Or have you
I've been watching football a long time, Tommy, and
Yeah.
this seems to be a recent thing.
Well, perhaps, Maureen, to give her the benefit of the doubt, I mean, one of you follow Norwich.
No, I don't.
Who do you follow?
Chelsea.
Okay. Have you been to London lately?
Not recently, no.
It's very much more polluted than when you were a girl. Seriously. Seriously.
All right then, Tommy, I'll listen.
Seriously. Okay, and if you are exercising your lungs in the middle of all that pollution, they're right on the flight path at Southampton Bridge. The King's Road is chocker. Seriously. And you go for a run. Do you go for a run?
Yeah.
You do.
Well, no, I swim more than anything.
Well, you see, swimming doesn't carry with it the same consideration because you don't swim next to traffic, do you?
I was told that years ago, if you sat in the street, that you could be prosecuted because it was something to do with, years ago there was TB.
Yes.
And I thought it was illegal to spit in the street.
Yes. I've never seen the sign.
No.
I lie. I've seen Sprachen verboten in Germany, which is the
same.
Yeah. And there was a time when people were worried that TB could be contracted through expectoration. But you see, if you've got TB, Maureen, it's difficult not to expectorate, isn't it?
Yes, but what I'm saying, now we don't have that problem with TB.
Yeah.
Is the law still there?
No, I don't think so. I've never heard of anybody being prosecuted for spitting. Although, when my incident took place, the man who assaulted me was arrested and he was charged with assault. Spitting on somebody else is considered, in law, potentially an assault. Although it never got to court. You know why? He gave his name as John Smith. And I remember at the time thinking, oh yeah, of Nottingham, right? Oh yeah. Anyway, it got to court. Do you think he showed?
No.
No. No, we'll never know if that is an assault with a deadly weapon. Because you've got the age thing to think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as I say, there's a nose thing. I mean, you're discussing, especially with kiddies watching. I mean,
If you've got a cold and you're playing football and you've got a blocked nose, what would you do?
oh, God, they're so well treated, footballers now. They don't even get on a pitch if they've got us cold. Come on, Tommy.
You're quite wrong there. They often play with a heavy cold nowadays.
Well, why do when you hear them on, here on the radio, oh, it sounds like because he's got a virus or he's had flu, and isn't.
Well, look, the fact that they blow their nose and there's something there means that And look, so who's the other people eating a sandwich and you've brought this up? You're as bad as the people you're criticising.
Oh, Tommy, look,
What?
you've got, I know, I'm always listening to you. You've got kiddies, haven't you? And you're well into football. And I understand that you sort of want to sort of stick up for them a bit. But I think the nose blowing is going a bit too far.
Free call 0500 10 53 89. Sam calls from London. Sam, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tommy.
Sam,
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Good. I'd agree with the point. I don't think it's really good to spit at other people. That's really not acceptable. But I think that if you do have a chest infection and you've got phlegm, I don't see anything wrong with spitting on the street.
No.
As long as you're not spitting in the direction of another person.
No.
And I'm not Texas either, so I think it's fine if it's a man, lady, whoever. Really.
Yeah, presumably it's what the drain is for.
Absolutely.
And do you know, she had a funny point, that woman. She said if you're sitting watching football eating a sandwich,
It is.
but these days, when the television's on, I think you know what you might get.
Yeah,
If you want to eat a sandwich and you know there's a football match on, you know what you're going to see, don't you?
exactly, yeah.
So, to a certain extent, it's this syndrome that a lot of people suffer from, which is that they want to be annoyed.
Yeah.
They want to see something that's going to make them angry.
Well, exactly. It's a reaction, I think, to
Yeah.
just society.
Are you what they might call a whippersnapper?
What's a whippersnapper?
A young whippersnapper?
I don't understand the term.
Have you seen Titanic?
Yes, I have.
What did you think of the scene that may or may not be responsible for turning it into a bit of a fashion statement?
I thought it was okay. I didn't think of much of the whole movie. I thought it was okay movie, but nothing.
It wasn't much of a movie, was it?
So it wasn't anything.
No, it wasn't.
Did you watch Usual Suspects last night, though?
I really wanted to, but I couldn't stay up. I was exhausted.
That's a good one. That's a very good film.
Was it written by Borges?
I'm not sure.
And it said very confusingly in one of the newspaper write-ups that it was a story worthy of Heathen Argentine storyteller, Borges, but I didn't know that he wrote film plots.
No, I don't. I'm not sure.
Anyway, did you get it the first time you saw it? What the outcome was?
I did. I wasn't.
Did you?
I wasn't really sure who it was going to be, but towards the end, it was very cleverly done.
Cracking movie, lovely. Nice to talk to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Tony.
Greg is next in the Wirral. Greg, you're on Talk Radio.
Hi, Tom.
Greg,
How are you?
feel well.
Well, you know, it's spiffing. As far as I'm concerned, it's usually the final statement of a conflict. And that's the only time I've ever seen it being badly used.
Yeah?
It's usually when someone spits in someone's face.
Mm-hmm.
That's the final statement.
Mm.
There's not much you can do than to resort to some sort of violence. And usually it's, over something silly.
Mm.
And someone just spits in your face.
Mm. Mm. Yes, yeah.
So, sex statement is just to wipe it off on his face with your ass.
Steady, boy. Steady, we're getting into a real male province here, aren't we?
No, it's one of them things, you just, it's so distasteful. I mean, you see kids doing it all the time on the streets, down there, spit on the floor.
Mm.
But if someone does it in your face because you've actually said something they didn't like, well, it's more or less, especially when they've confronted you about
So it depends on what we find annoying, isn't it? Supposing your milkman, right, occasionally would spit first thing in the morning, but also would always whistle tunelessly.
Hey, I don't know. I don't see him though, do you?
I don't know about you, but I find people who whistle incessantly.
Annoying.
Yes. Or people who hum a happy tune.
Yeah, but don't put anything out of their body on your face.
No.
So,
No, but they're putting something in your ears.
oh, I see.
You see what I'm saying? It's a question of what you want to find annoying. Isn't it?
No, annoying and just totally, insulting. The final insult.
Thanks for your call, Greg. Free call 0500 1053 88. It was fashionable once. If you go back to the punk era, it was very fashionable. Everybody used to do it at punk concerts. Artists and people in the front rows at concerts used to report that they would end the concert drenched. I merely pass this on as a reporter of how things were, as we examine how things are and might be. Now that the Titanic has given kudos back to spitting. Alan calls from Bromley. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, Alan.
Tommy,
Alan.
what makes me angry is the way you allow yourself to get sidetracked.
Sidetracked.
It's a persecution of footballers that you're on now. You're not on about spitting.
Yeah.
footballers, for one, don't control the cameras. Program controllers control the cameras.
Directors.
We don't have to focus on the spitting.
Directors
And this is
do.
what you're getting yourself drawn into today. I'm surprised. From me,
Yep.
I'm surprised.
I take your point. I take your point. You're absolutely right.
Also,
Yes.
the Titanic, I haven't seen the film, but what they're trying to show is the innocence of love. Innocent love, childish innocence. Now, we've all stood on a bridge or somewhere spitting and trying to hit the same spot as we sat back before. It's childishness. It's the innocence of it all. And you're allowing yourself to be drawn into a discussion about footballing.
It's more than what you say in Titanic.
Is it really?
Well, you haven't seen the movies. Oh, shaky ground here, aren't you, pal? Aren't you in the corner, eh? Aren't you in the corner?
Right, Tommy, right.
Stop passing me either way, and so you should be. It is an image which is employed by the filmmakers to act as a metaphor for Leonardo DiCaprio, whatever his name is, the magic he exerts over the woman as he pulls her away from the sad, shallow, hollow world of the upper classes into the exciting, rich, earthy environment of the steerage classes. They have a spitting competition off the side of the Titanic, you see. And it's mentally very romantic. But what kind of an influence is it exerting on people like Alan in Bromley? Karen's on the line in Stevenage. Hello, Karen.
Oh, I've got such a bee in my bonnet about this.
Oh, yeah.
When I was about 7 years old, I was bullied on the school bus, and I used to arrive home with other kids' spit dripping down my face.
Oh, Faye.
Now, do not call that childish innocence. Those kids knew what they were doing.
They sure did. That's awful. That's awful.
And I've never forgotten that to this day.
No.
When I see people spitting in the street and spitting on a football pitch and spitting anywhere for any reason whatsoever, it always reminds me of when I was bullied on the school bus, and I'll never forget it.
No, that is awful. I agree with you. I fully agree with you. It's just disgusting, isn't it? We mustn't pass on too many tips. You don't have any bullies are listening. I have to deal with them on the show, of course, and I deal with it in my own words. Did you ever hear of a footballer called Jack Charlton?
No, I don't follow football at all.
Oh, it's just that he's on your side here, you see. He's a great big 6'5" bloke. He can seriously look after himself. He's a Geordie, but he managed the Irish team, and they loved him for that. They made him a citizen of Ireland, an honorary mayor or something. But he's a lovely man because he's very down to earth. And one day he was doing a football commentary on the World Cup, and a bloke got sent off because he whacked another guy on the chin because the other guy had spat on him. And the commentator said, well, it doesn't matter, you know, how much you don't like spitting. You really do have to keep your cool and keep your fists to yourselves. And do you know what Jack Charlton, who was the co-commentator, said to him?
What did he say?
He said, no way, mate. He said, if he'd done that to me, I would have chinned him. Exact words, I would have chinned him. And Jack said, there's nothing worse than somebody else's spittle.
Well, no.
That's true, isn't it?
I'll definitely go along with that.
You'd have chinned him, wouldn't you, mate?
I didn't at the time. I think I probably wish that I could perhaps go back now, knowing what I know now, and being the person that I am now.
I know. Wouldn't it be nice to know where they live?
Actually, I had heard that the ringleader had been killed in a car accident.
No, don't finish the thought. All right. Okay.
It's a sad
3.
Bye.
Lucy calls now from London. Lucy, you're on Talk Radio. Good afternoon.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to tell you that spitting is an art form in Hong Kong.
Is it really?
It is. I mean, it might not be now, but when I lived there, which was in the late 70s, and I used to live in Wan Chai, which is the real far area of Hong Kong.
Yes.
And I could not believe the amount of spitting that went on. And it's an art form. They'll look you straight in the eye, do this huge hoik in the throat,
yes.
and spit at your feet, and it would land like half an inch away from your food.
And what are you supposed to do? Take that as a compliment?
No, I don't think so. So they're very xenophobic, the Chinese. They don't really like foreigners too much.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. When I went to Brazil, I had a footballing visit to Brazil some years ago, and I noticed the number of Brazilians who would hoik, as you say, whenever I was near.
Yes.
But because I couldn't step out of my body, I never found out whether they did that when I wasn't around. So I didn't know whether it was a statement about me being a honky in Rio,
Yeah.
or whether that's how they behaved.
Well, in Hong Kong, I noticed that they spat all the time because there were like notices everywhere on the trams, on the ferries, don't spit, and because it spread TB and all sorts of diseases, so they had different ways of spitting. You know, I mean, people would spit out of high-rise. Yeah, I mean, you had to be pretty careful walking down the street sometimes. But I'll never forget how they were just, I'm about the same height as the average Cantonese man. And walking down the sort of really crowded streets in Happy Valley or in, One Shine, places like that, they just look you straight in the eye and do this. And then just spit. And you'd look at them like, I used to be just so gobsmacked, I'm horrified.
I to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Gobsmacked is
A good word.
funny, isn't it?
Mm.
Thank you for your call.
How you're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, nice one. See where language works, isn't it? Andy is on the line from out of here. Andy, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Hello. It cannot be asked. It's the frequency. Yeah, I mean, you've got footballers. They're out there. They're exerting themselves. They get to start set up your fingers in a one, you've in the back the folk start getting a bit claggy. You've got to get rid of it. You can't be whipping out your hanky with your initials on the corner in the middle of a football match. But it's the frequency. It seems to be that every time they put in a cross, they know the camera's going to be on it. Oh, but get whiskey cameras on me. I wonder if I get my good spit inside this time out.
Yes.
That's what it seems to be.
A good, clean pellet is seen as but it's an act of celebration, isn't it?
Sort of, yes, but I think there's actually one thing that does come with stomach even worse than all of that. I can almost expect of a sports person. But it's when you're in a shop, or a chip shop, even worse, when you ask for a bag of chips and they lick their fingers to open the bag.
You don't like that?
And I say, would you like to spit in the bag? Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, no, but we already established that you're going to do it. Now what we're negotiating is quantity.
While I've got you, you're obviously a thinking man.
Well,
I found out the other day, and I was so relieved to find out why it is that one gets a dewdrop on the tip of one's nose in cold weather. Do you know what it is?
I thought it was to do with the lubrication that you need to keep, because cold weather can be quite drying.
It is the purest, most hygienic water you could possibly gather. It's condensation. That's all. It's condensation. You take cold air into your nose, the nasal cavity warms it up, and as always happens when that happens, you get condensation.
Strangely enough, many years ago, I used to go to Norway every year and with a particular body of men. But we always used when it hit about -12 because the hairs up your nostrils would freeze. When you breathe in, you got this sort of like prickly feeling up your nose.
Our nose is fascinating. 3-500 10 53 89. Desmond Morris, in his book Body Watching, talks about all the parts of the body and said that everything that we have got, our ears, our fingers, our coccyx, it all has a reason and a logic. But naturalists didn't know why the human nose is as it is. Of all the apes, we're the only one that has a nose which protrudes from the front of our face. And then he read the case history of a fighter pilot who had to fly back from escorting a bombing mission during the Second World War with the cockpit of his canopy, the canopy of his cockpit, the windscreen, shot away. And it was freezing cold up there at whatever it was, 20,000 feet. And it took him 2 hours to fly back. And by the time he got back, poor man had lost much of his face through frostbite. And of course, you see, he would have died because the air he was taking into his lungs for 2 hours would have been so cold that it would have frozen his lungs. But what saved him was that he breathed through his nose and in so doing got the air up to almost body temperature simply by passing it through his nose before it reached his lungs. And although Desmond Morris said it was very unlikely that we had the nose that we have for just such a strange circumstance, at least there was one person who was glad he had a conch. 3-500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyds. This is Talk Radio.
To keep up to date with the latest, make sure you
They're the size that you Chris. There's
Sorry, boy, radio experiment. It does exactly what it says in the paper.
I smell bigger.
Like, set us up when you roll up, have to roll up. Like that, like when you roll up, just straight out right now. Fine for us up when you roll up, then you blow up, Like, get it up when you blow up and start straight out right now. Like, shut it up when you roll up, like you roll up. Like, get it up when you roll up, and then you're top. It's all the time.
Coming from in Florida.
It's spitting. A woman called the Angry Hour 10 minutes before the close to say that she had her passenger spat at by another driver, a lady driver. And it occurred to us, that what with the love scene in Titanic, which revolves around him teaching her how to spit properly, and if you've seen the movie, then I do mean properly, and nobody goes in the cinema, everybody goes, just wondered, you see, whether it's somehow coming back into fashion. It was very fashionable. And, I'm not a prude, but I don't think we want that, do we? Brenda calls from London. Brenda, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello, Tommy.
Hi.
I think it's the most gross, sickening thing that anyone can do. I really hate it with a passion.
How do you do that?
Because, the reason why, I just think it's really disgusting when you see footballers on a football pitch spitting, because, every time I see footballer thighs for a football or something, I just think, I bet there's spit on the, on this hit because of, someone else hadn't that there beforehand and I didn't think, it's really horrible.
10 years ago, when you didn't know quite how much they ought to worry about HIV, somebody did a calculation about how much spit will end up on a football pitch at the end of the... You don't want to know.
No.
You don't want the mental image.
No, I do not.
No, you don't.
Not at all. Because I've even written a poem about it because I hate it so much. And even tennis is going that way now because Goran Ivanisevic does it. And it's really disgusting when, the camera always catches it.
I think Tiger Woods spits.
Does he? I don't watch golf.
No.
So I don't know. But I loved McEnroe because he would spit, but he would do it in his towel.
Yeah.
And I really respected him for that.
I heard a story about no, I didn't. I know for a fact that it's true about John Maher. He used to have refreshment in his towel.
Oh.
Yes. Little shocking bars or something, I don't know.
Oh.
Yes, and his head was done so nobody could see him take refreshment. Very interesting.
Yeah. And I keep kicking my mum as well because she spits.
Does she?
Yeah, when I'm walking down the street and I'll hit her because she'll spit right next to me and she'll kill me if she's listening now.
What's your reason for spitting?
Because she's got a cold and she says, where do you want me to spit? And I said, well, spit in your hankies. He says, why should I? Well, I'll have to carry it around there.
You see, we were joking earlier on off air amongst us here, it did become fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
Then, they'll be doing it on top of the pots. I'm surprised.
Oh, well, yeah.
Seriously? Yeah. Seriously? And, Trevor McDougall will be doing it. Well, and use at 10,
Mm-hmm.
Won't he? Here is the news.
But why is it always men? I don't see women athletes or women's foot,
Again, a very good point. I think there's more to it than just, clearing out your sinuses and your mouth if you're an athlete. I think it's a statement or something.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, your mum accepted. Before you call 0500 10 53 89. Jaspel is on the line from Leeds. Hello, Jaspel.
Hi, Tommy, how are you doing?
Good, you?
Not too bad, not too bad. I stopped on the motorway to talk to you. I just love opening the window when I'm driving and spectating at the car going by. And I had a real good spit.
Depends how fast you're going, doesn't it?
Well, in fact, you've heard about the difference in velocity then. So yeah, it does depend on how fast you're going. I have a story. I remember when I was about 7 years old, I was chased by a neighbour who was about 12 then. And he grabbed me, and I tell you, he got me on the floor. And he opened my mouth and spat in it. And as I turned around, it all drooled out.
No.
Awful.
No.
Absolutely, but he was a lot bigger than me. I'll never forget it.
You see, the thing is, we sit in judgment on people who spit a lot. But how do we know, okay, we judges, how do we know that other people aren't suffering from a surfeit of spittle?
It could be.
You see, I mean, do you know how much spittle you create in the course of the day?
Oh,
I read 1.5 pints. The average bus, I read.
possibly.
I read
Do you remember in school when if you got caught spitting in school, they used to make you fill a bucket? That's not bucket, that's it.
I don't remember that. No, he went to school in Leeds, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, well, there you are, you see. 340 500 10 53 89. Did an interesting business. But not so interesting that we're going to dwell on it much longer than we have to. Michael's on the line from Cheltenham. Michael, you're on Talk Radio. Hi.
Hi, Tommy. Yeah, I just wanted to say that it absolutely disgusts me. What disgusts me more than people just spitting in the street is these people that spit at other people. As your previous caller was just talking about.
Yes.
I'm a police officer and I've been spat at a couple of times now after making arrests. I can handle people fighting with me when they get arrested, but when they spit at me in the face, it sends me absolutely livid.
I wonder if it's a regional thing as well, because the only time I remember being spat at to any degree at a football ground was at actually Bristol Rovers.
It may well be, but I promise that was in this area.
Oh, I thought.
So whether it's a regional thing or not, I don't know.
I don't know.
And aside from the disgust of being spat at in the face, obviously with the type of people that police officers can deal with, one of the thoughts that goes straight through your mind is what disease is being spread.
Yeah.
One of your previous callers said about TB, also there's a hepatitis thing. And it doesn't matter how educated you are about AIDS and knowing that AIDS can't be spread unless you have buckets full of saliva. There's always that worry. Have they got blood in their spittle?
They did say that, didn't they? In order to be infected with HIV from somebody else's spittle, it would be necessary to drink 2 pints of it.
That's right.
And you think to yourself, well, I didn't need to know that.
But what else have they got in their mouth when they're doing it? That's the thing. And I've seen colleagues who have been spat at and there's been blood in it as well. And there's always that worry. I mean, you're coming home and of course your wife's concerned because you make a mention of it, and you've got a little child to worry about as well, and there's just this blood on your shirt or whatever.
Well, when it happened to me, I was advised after we'd been to the station, I'd made my statement. They were very helpful helping me make my statement. I was advised now go home, now you've got to go and see a doctor now. I said, have I? They said, well, it's a good idea, just so that the doctor knows, and it's on the record that you reported an assault and it was necessary to visit the doctor. But the doctor will also want to know if what was directed at you got into your body in any way.
That's right. I mean, it's always the best, on the safe side. I just when I heard the call, I thought, when I heard the program, I thought I've got to ring him because it's something that really does infuriate me.
Well, I'm glad you rang. Thanks for your call.
Thanks so much.
Don't want to hard.
I'm trying to
fast you know it. Free call 0500 10 63 89. Talk Radios.
Now, what's correct approach to enjoying bottled wine? There we go. 10:53, 10:89 a.m. Talk Radio.
If you just spit shut, a caller rang in during the angry hour to say that somebody had spat in her direction, hit the person that she was with. That made her angry, sure did. Yes, found ourselves wondering whether it's kind of coming back, what with footballers doing it and now cricketers and golfers, and Tiger Woods, I think, and tennis players, and Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet in Titanic make a great big sort of love scene thing out of doing it over the rail, and she has to sort of coyly look over someone's shoulder and tell him that he's got a bit on his chin, and it's all, oh, aren't they characters? But that's all it can take, to trigger something off, and then everybody's doing it. Sally calls from Manchester. Sally, you're on Talk Radio.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi.
Hi. It was just to say I actually do regret this, but I actually did find myself in a fit of huge temper, spitting in somebody's face. And I can't actually now, looking back, quite believe that I did it. I do think it's disgusting, but it was actually the ultimate insult. It was better than swearing, and it was better than shouting. It worked.
Well, hey, let's not be frightened of hearing you say it. It felt good at the time.
Glory?
It felt good at the time.
It did.
Yeah.
It felt like a huge release. It was amazing, but it is horrible. And if we did it to me, I'd be absolutely gutted, I think.
And how much can you tell us about what he'd done to earn it?
He'd actually managed to cheat on my best friend for about the third time, and was trying to justify himself. And I was just so angry that she was so upset that it just happened. But if he'd listened, I apologise. His name's Colin. I do apologise. About 5 years ago, so I hope he's forgiven me.
You're a nice lady. Sounds like he had it coming. Mark in Twickenham gets the last word on this. Mark, you're on Talk Radio.
Hi there, Tommy. I know there's a good spitting game that my family play.
Oh, right.
We're going along in the car, and if we're chewing a bit of chewing gum, then when you've finished with it, what you have to do is you've got to wind down both the windows, drive around passenger, and you've got to spit it out the window opposite you, past the other person's head. But my dad and mum were playing it in the front of the car fairly recently, and Dad mistimed his spit, and it went straight into my mother's ear.
How much fun you have.
I've got another one for you, okay?
Well, right, as it's you. Go on.
Oh, go on then. Right. Yeah, I'm at university now. One of the lads, he was driving one of the other lads to college, and he wanted to spit out the window. The window was slightly down, so he went to put it down a little bit further and looking at the console. And then when he turned around and spat, he'd actually wound the window up, so it was all over the window. And needless to say, there was some abuse all around our car.
What are you doing at university?
I'm doing drama and sociology. I've told you before.
Just in case it matters. I'm sorry. Early attack of amnesia. Mark, thank you for your call.
No problem, mate.
Bye now.
Bye.
Peter Daly is next. It's free call 0500 10 53 89. Straight through to him. I look forward to talking with you from 3 tomorrow. I'm Tommy Boyds.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.